Want to know why some ads completely flop while others generate millions of dollars? After our team spent over $20 million on paid content strategies, analyzing thousands of different content, ads, we've truly cracked the code on what it takes and what the difference is between a 6 and a 7-figure ad campaign. So in the next few minutes, I'm gonna explain exactly what the main components of crafting a high converting ad. And keep in mind, we have single ads that have generated well over $500,000. We have single posts that have generated thousands of signups, and that's new business for you. So let's dive right into what it takes to generate a 7-figure ad campaign. All right, as many of you guys might already know, this is gonna be one of the most important aspects of the ad, known as the hook. This is generally the first 3 seconds. Keep in mind, the average attention span of a human on this device, of somebody scrolling on these devices, is about 7 to 8 seconds. The hook is so important. Now, you have to do it in a way that doesn't feel fake. It feels native. We like to leverage pattern interrupts. These are great for increasing the hook, especially if you're doing like UGC content. So think of like you might film a bunch of B-roll. Maybe if you're a fitness company, you might have some B-roll of a girl like doing squats. Obviously, you're gonna want somebody really fit or somebody really attractive that is a pattern interrupt. There's a lot of movement. And so when somebody's scrolling, because keep in mind, people are scrolling, you have about 7 to 8 seconds. So that pattern interrupt is gonna be huge. So you wanna think of what is a pattern interrupt? Now, if you're doing talking head style ads, you might want to have something that aligns with your target audience. If you're a high ticket service provider, you might want to be in your lab coat, especially for like a medical treatment. You might want to be in a lab coat with the doctor's stethoscope, something like that. So pattern interrupts are going to be huge. The other thing is going to be getting very clear on your messaging and who you are calling out, right? This is so important. I think this is one of the biggest mistakes. You want to be very clear and you want to be able to articulate exactly who you help. For example, one of my friends, they have a roofing company and they've been struggling with getting a lot of brokies into their audience, which is the worst. Nobody wants brokies clicking on their ads. I told him, I was like, well, tell me some of the characteristic traits of your ideal client. Like what makes a 7, or 8-figure roofing business versus the rest? What are some of the characteristic traits? Do they have more crew members? And it turned out they had more crew members. So, for his ad, I was like, hey, you need to call that out in your audience. Are you an established roofing company with at least 5 crew members looking to expand another location? Right away, very direct in the messaging. Within the first 3 seconds, we're clear on who we're targeting. Now, why is this so important? Because what happens is that target stops and watches. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but that little bit of stop time that you get, the algorithm is analyzing that. And they're realizing, okay, this person stopped and watched. And then it's going to say, okay, well, what other people like this person are gonna stop and watch? The AI has an average of 52,000 points of preference on their audience or on each user. So that means it knows about 52,000 things about you. It knows about 52,000 things about me. That's a lot of data that it knows. So the second somebody stops, that roofer or whatever your target audience, busy moms, I'm a busy mom, I wanna see what this is, right? Now it knows, okay, we're gonna put this in front of more of these people like that. And it's the machine learning. So it's very important to be very clear on the messaging, and no better way to do it with the right hook. So yeah, if you're selling a fitness product, right, you're gonna want a fit person working out at the gym, demonstrating something like that, and really calling out that desired outcome, that pain point, or that solution that you provide, but articulating it in a way that attracts the right audience and not the brokies. Another way to do this is using the right text overlay. Text overlays are gonna be very important in the hook. So simply just, 5 to maybe 15 words. I like to always put, the highlight behind it. White highlight always pops with black lettering. You can always change that up, right? If your brand is orange or green, you can make it your brand color to make it more on point with the AI. But with the text overlays, you want to make it scroll stopping. That's the key. Scroll stopping. That's gonna really improve things. Like if I was selling a magnesium supplement, one thing could be like things I wish I knew about magnesium before I bought, or things I wish I would have known about magnesium. Things that I didn't know magnesium actually did to me, right? It creates engagement. It's intriguing. It makes me want to stop. I'm like, shit, I just bought magnesium. I want to know what this is about. Like, did I fuck up, right? It makes you want to know those things. So the hook, number 2, is going to be any visual elements that you can add to the ad, right? In the hook, you could have a hook, right? For example, a money gun, a lot of talking head ads, they might do something crazy to stop things. I'm not a big fan of that gimmicky, proppy stuff because you're just gonna attract brokies into your audiences. So if you sell high ticket offers or you sell expensive products or services and you sell to rich people like I do, you wanna make sure that you can do something in the ad that sells to rich people. For example, if you're selling to rich people, one of those things could be driving an expensive car. That's a visual element. For UGC content, what can be visually, how can you show this? Unboxing videos are great ways to show the visual element of something. Another thing is ASMR. Those do really well. It's very visually and audibly engaging, right? The sound, the visual is very, very engaging. So those are some visual elements that you can add. Audio components, another very important thing. iPhones, smartphones, they actually are really great. I've made millions of dollars through paid ads simply with smartphone ads. I think sometimes they even convert better. I love just pulling out my iPhone and filming. It's very native to the platform. The cameras have gotten so good that you don't really need a high quality camera like what I'm filming on right now. So the audio components are gonna be very important. I highly recommend getting a mic. I like the DJI Mic 2 or this mic. I think this is cheaper than some of the Shure mics that I have at home and some of the other mics that I use. Doesn't matter. Any mic over $150, it's worth the investment. I actually think audio quality is more important than video quality as long as you have a modern smartphone, right? You can't pull out a flip phone if you're using a flip phone. Probably shouldn't be watching my YouTube channel. I would just stop watching immediately. This is for rich people who like to make money and primarily want to make money on their phones. So mic is going to be great. Again, audio components, that would be like an ASMR style ad if I was doing a UGC ad. These do very well. ASMR, it just trends well because it's engaging. You just like want to watch more of it. That's really good content. Now, if there's a way that you could incorporate a scroll stopping ASMR content, maybe search your niche, right? If you have a beauty and aesthetic, maybe it could be a girl doing some ASMR thing, some unboxing, and then it cuts to something that allows you to educate and drive that sale and conversion. So these are some of the audio components that I would incorporate into ads. And then the content structure. This is also, we also like to call this our framework. So like, what is the framework? So for example, some of those could be testimonials. It could be a case study. It could be podcast style. Podcast style, guys, is the best content. It crushes, it prints. I try to get all of my clients in my studio so that I can film and we can get podcast content. It just builds authority. Now with UGC, podcast style is very hard. This is the hardest to replicate because it's always manufactured and people can tell when it's manufactured. So it's the hardest to replicate because it feels fake if it's manufactured. So you need somebody like myself or somebody that really understands how to convey a message. I would hire a very professional actor. It might cost you $1,000, but when you think of an ad that could make you hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of dollars, as some of our ads have, you look at it very different. Once you find a winning ad, I mean, you can literally print money with that, but you want to test a lot of different content ideas, a lot of different frameworks, a lot of different content structures. That's going to really allow you to figure out what works for your audience in your particular niche. Now, we help all of our clients with this. We hire some of the best creative strategists. So I'm actually just showing you exactly what we do to create 7-figure ads. So additionally, part of the content structure, aside from the frameworks, is the actual structure of the ad. And this is the structure that I find works the best. We do a hook or call out So, you want a hook that attracts your ideal market. If you're doing UGC content, you want a creator that aligns with that. If you sell it to busy moms, you want a busy mom. You want to find somebody that's actually that person. If you're doing a TRT ad for your business, you want somebody that has a TRT business. For one of our clients, they do, wholesaling for homes. So they go into these distressed properties, these properties that clearly need construction before you would normally sell, but they don't care about that. So they're able to sell it. So they're going straight into the property type that looks like the properties they would want to buy and then flip. You want to understand who you're targeting through that hook and call out, and then the pain or solution, right? People generally, pain is a bigger motivator. So most people focus on pain, but sometimes solutions work as well. You can attract those. So hook, call out, pain, solution, how you've done it before. And then you always want to add with a call to action. So that's one structure. I'm going to go over another structure you might have seen. This is called EPIC, and it stands for engagement, promise, information, and then a call to action. You're always going to want a call to action. That's a click to learn more, click to book a call, make sure to click the link to buy, whatever that is. That's a call to action. You're asking them direct response ads. So engagement, promise, information, and call to action. Engagement is going to get their attention, right? Same thing as a hook. Right? What are you going to do to get them engaged? You really want to get them engaged. That is the most important thing. I would spend so much time on how to get them engaged. Then promise. So if you're at the gym, if you're a trainer, maybe an online fitness coach, I would have some engaging content of you at the gym, or some girl at the gym, or somebody slamming some weights down at the gym, and say, are you struggling to hit your financial goals? I'm going to show you exactly how I helped 20 clients in the last month hit their goals financially in their fitness coaching business. A little bit of context. So now we're transitioning to the information. Now, a little bit of context of who I am. I'm Daniel Walton. I have a personal brand. I've done all these great things. I was a personal trainer, broke just like you, until I discovered this one thing that changed my life forever. And if you want to learn what this is, I'm actually doing a webinar where you can click the link to learn more, or I'm actually going to show you a little bit about this in the next call. So click the link to learn more. That's another content structure that works well. So that is the main thing. You're going to have the content structure, you're going to have an audio component, you're going to have the visual elements, and then you're going to have the hook. Now that covers most of the context and the structure of it. Now let's dive into one of the most important parts. We'll end here with the editing. Editing is so important. And editing is composed of timestamps, which if you don't know what timestamping is, that's what is deciding what doesn't go in the ad. It's not so much what goes in it that's important. It's what you need to remove. Ask yourself, like, can I remove this 1 second, this half a second, this quarter second? Any amount that you can remove from an ad is going to be good. So the more cuts, the better. The more cuts, the better. Each clip, it needs to be visually interesting, visually engaging. And you want to make sure, like, boring visuals, it's going to be a boring ad. People aren't going to watch, right? So as you're doing these things, the more engaging that you can make it, the better. It might be worth hiring a creative strategist. If you work with us, you get a creative strategist. We pay the top creative strategists to come up with content ideas. We pay the copywriters to write copy for those ads, and we tailor it all together. And that's just one component of working with us. Now, if you can't afford to work with me, or you're not quite the right fit, I can teach you exactly how to do this. I do have a coaching program and an elite level of entrepreneurs who want to learn more or master marketing. And I can show you how to set up all this stuff, give you my exact blueprint, all my systems, everything that you need. But timestamping is, I would say, the most important thing. Think of if you do a podcast style ad, you might film a real podcast and you might find 20 clips. You can have the best editing in the entire world. I promise you, if the wrong timestamps are done, the wrong sections are selected, and it's not cut up, go look at my videos. Go to my Instagram at Daniel Walton 365 on Instagram. You can look at some of my podcast style content. Very tight edits. It's very engaging. It gets views. I don't even have a lot of followers, but it works, right? And then when we run that as ads, it prints money. So make sure that you have the right timestamp. And I can't stress that enough in the editing process. Lots of clips. The more cuts, the better. I don't like to have more than like 1 second. Otherwise, it just, it starts to get boring. You want to change it up. Now, if you're selling high ticket offers to rich people, that might be the opposite, right? So it depends on what your offer is, on what you're going to do. And then additionally, generally, obviously, the more information, the better. So in the edits, you want to put more info than less. So if you can add extra graphics, like, a screenshot, for example, of a stat or something, those are things that you can add into the editing that's really going to make it better. But these are the main components of what it takes to have successful ads and really to craft a 7-figure ad. And then I'll actually add one last thing. These are the components, but this is what most people don't do, is look at the data. What I would do is I would have different hooks and overlays. And I might have one ad copy, one ad, but I'm going to test a different hook. I might test a different call out. And those things I'm going to split test. I'm going to ask, like, well, who are all the different types of people that I help? If I was doing weight loss, for example, well, we help fit people who want to get 6-packs. We help the busy mom. We help women going through menopause. I would call out all of those. I'd have a different hook for each of those. I would have a different target for each of those as well. And I would split test, look at the data. So this hook got this many views, this much CPM, this much cost per click. This one got this. And then you look at the data, you analyze the data, and then you adjust. That's the biggest thing, is most people, they hire a content agency and they never have that feedback loop. Working with us, we can see this and we're going to adjust our hooks. We're going to go back to our editing team, our creative strategists, and we're going to say, hey, let's make these adjustments. And we, in same month, can make those adjustments where if you're working with a retained monthly creative agency or content agency, they're going to next month maybe make those edits only if you tell them to. We're incentivized through the performance. So we're going to make those edits because we want to make more money. The more money you make, the more money we make. So as a performance marketer who does the content and the marketing, we're able to really be involved, analyze the data, analyze what hooks and text overlays are going to work. So that finishes the last step, which is a feedback loop. You need all of these things done. The editors, creative strategists, digital strategists working together on what that is. So make sure to like, subscribe, and reach out to me if you have more questions.